And this Build a Brand series, I'm going to do it. It's going to be more than one part because we can't build a brand in an hour. We can't build a brand in 2 hours. Like, it's going to require us talking, us figuring out what we need and how we going to do this. So yeah, if you're just joining, hi, I'm Saray, UX designer, and we're just starting to build this brand together. Let's say that we want to make a skincare brand. Skincare. Let's stick on skincare. Brand name, Holographic Pride. Okay. So when we're thinking about brands, we have to think about the industry. We have to think about the industry standards. Once we know the rules, we can break the rules. Cool. What are the values of this brand? Because we can't just build a brand without understanding like some blueprint things, right? So let's do that. So there is that. For values, make it eco-friendly. Okay, let's write this down. So we're doing, the name of our brand that we're building is Holographic Pride. It's a skincare brand. Skincare. And then we're talking about values. What type of values will our brand have? And then for those who are just joining, I'm a UX designer and we're building a brand. Traditionally, for UX designers, we get research from our target audience, but we're kind of skipping that part and just going to the brand building part to show you what it really looks like as a UX designer when we're building a brand. We're not going to build this all in one night. It's going to be a multi-part situation. So I'm going to make sure to let you guys know when the next live is for Build a Brand so that you can come back and that we can flesh this out together. You can, share this live with your friends, tap the screen to get more friends to come and join us here. Make this a really interactive experience. So right now we're giving the values for the brand because we can't build a brand without values, right? So values for Holographic Pride include eco-friendly. We like, that's a great buzzword, and not only buzzword, we have to believe in it, right? Which I do believe in sustainable makeup and pretty much just a sustainable life. So it's eco-friendly, locally sourced ingredients. Okay, locally sourced. I'm just writing this down. You can go ahead and tell me more what is the word? More values in the chat. Locally sourced ingredients, which all of these are huge buzz phrases when we're thinking about skincare and beauty and really what we want to give to the consumer. I can't spell ingredients. There it is. And affordable prices. We are. Those are 3 buzz phrases for this. So yes, values, ethical production. I think we're on the same page. Ethical, creating high quality products. Accessibility. What do you mean when you say accessibility in this sense? I just want to get a clarification in this realm. High quality products. Do you mean accessible pricing? Do you mean accessible product that it can be pretty much everywhere? It's not just going to be local to one website. Is it going to be on Amazon? What do you mean when you say accessible? Identity affirming. And what do you mean when you say that? Because that can also have different meanings depending on what we're talking about. So what are we saying when we're saying identity affirming? Any more values that we should have for our ethically sourced skincare? Accessibility in terms of pricing. Okay. Accessibility in terms of pricing. Okay. So for right now, we're building a skincare brand. It's called Holographic Pride. Values include eco-friendly, locally sourced ingredients, affordable pricing, ethical production, creating high quality products, identity affirming. We're still looking for clarification on what identity affirming means to us in this sense. But all of these are sounding really good so far. So even further, when we're thinking about our branding, before we get to the colors, before we get to anything, we're going to think about our values. What do you guys think is the next step? We have values. What do you think is the next step? Do we just jump into building, or are there more things that we have to do to make sure that this brand is fleshed out fully before we get into the design? Mission statement, mission, audience. Absolutely right. These 2 suggestions that are coming in are 2 things that we absolutely need before we do anything further, anything with design elements. So let's do mission first. What is the mission of this brand? We also need an audience. We also need to do personas. And if you're not familiar with what a persona is in the UX world, a persona traditionally, when we're doing the surveys and collecting the interviews at the beginning, getting all of our target audience information to pull it in to be able to build this brand. Traditionally, what we do is we have a set of interviews, right? When I, as a UX designer, goes through the interviews and I read it all and I figure out the pain points and I figure out the empathy maps. We can talk about that in a second. We create a persona. We create a person, someone who has the ideals of the brand, someone who would represent the brand to our best ability. We would give the person a name just to kind of ground it, to just give this person a feeling, likes, wants, dislikes, desires, so that we have just pretty much a roadmap of how we're going to create this brand. So that is what a persona is when we're talking about UX. We also want to make sure that we're not pandering, right? Because we have to actually believe what we're saying and do what we're saying, not just do it for the likes and the followers. You know what I mean? Okay, cool. Are there multiple personas for a brand or just one? Yes. Guess another time for a good question. Yes, there are. So we're thinking about our brand, right? Our brand is called Holographic Pride. It's a skincare brand. So we can come up with personas. We can come up with people, right? Because they're examples of people who would want to use this product. What they look like. Are they married? Are they in a relationship? Are they gender fluid? Are they queer? Are they fashion stylists? Like, what types of people do we think would be using this brand? And those are the types of people that make up the persona. So there's usually more than one. There's multiple. Let's get back to our planning. So we have our skincare name, Holographic Pride. We have our values. Let's talk about our mission. What's the mission? What is the point? Why did we create this? There's lots of skincare brands. Why do we need this? Why is this going to be beneficial for someone? Why would they want to pick up Holographic Beauty instead of pick up Fenty, instead of picking up Neutrogena, instead of picking up Sunday Riley? Why are we doing this? What is the goal? What is the ask? What is the aspiration for this? What's the point? Pretty much. So we need to narrow that down, because that can help be a guiding light for how we make choices, right? In terms of color, in terms of font, in terms of feel, romantic, earthy, natural, trendy. There's so many different aesthetics that we can pick from. So what is the mission for this skincare brand, and why do we even want it to be a product in the stores? Because like I'm saying, there's so many different skincare brands around, right? Mission can include purchasing. Can I get it out? Purchasing ethical products on a budget. So the company would be purchasing ethical products on a budget. How are we going to turn a profit? I know that's another question, but that's a part of our mission. I'm going to write that down. Purchasing. Why can I not speak today? This is crazy. Purchasing ethical products. I love playing with fonts and colors too much. Join the club. It's a for real job. She does it. Are you recording this for my YouTube? Yes, I am. Profits can go towards social justice initiatives. We like that. That is a way to connect the brand to the user, because the person who's going to buy this brand is most likely going to also have strong ties to social justice, because we're already saying a lot of words that they would resonate with: eco-friendly, locally sourced, affordable, ethical, gender affirming. So that is a great thing, a great point for our mission. So we said profits going toward social justice initiatives. Ooh, I spelled initiatives right on my first time. Go me. Mission: centering various identities non-traditionally / historically included in the makeup industry. Okay, are you a UX writer or a copywriter? Because the way you wrote that, come on, snaps. It's gonna take me days for what someone can do in minutes, like someone who has the gift of words and stuff. But it's like, yes, love that. Sustainability, I find, is what drives the younger generation, such as Gen Z. Oh, yes, they want to save us. We don't want to save ourselves. I'm a millennial, and we be acting like the world ain't on fire. But Gen Z is like, hello, can you not smell the smoke? So that is great. Thank you so much, Altruistic Ash, for that mission statement. Okay, so we have our mission. we have our values, we have the name of the brand. We're building this from scratch right now. I will make those notes accessible. I can put them in a Notion for everyone to see that what we're doing, because again, we're not going to be able to build this brand tonight. It takes more than an hour. It takes more than 4 hours to build a brand. It takes time. It takes research. It takes energy. It takes dedication. It takes checking out your competitors. It takes a whole host of things. So we're really just doing the rough start right now. And so that we can build on this, right? So this will not be the last live for Come Build a Brand with Me. When we're thinking about colors, what color is this? This second color here. What color would you say that is? Orange. I think it's orange. Let me tell you what someone who has protanopia, meaning that they cannot see the red and greens in life, what they're going to see. Okay. Be mindful that there's differences in the colors in the screen because it's a screen on screen. So this is our first color. This is our orange red. This is what someone sees who cannot see red at all. They see a green. You see how different that is? So imagine that you picked out these two colors as your branding and you're like, yeah, that's great. For someone who has protanopia, this is what they're going to see. Protanopia. That's what they're going to see. These two colors, not the ones that you picked. And there's even more. Here we go. Deuteranopia, a lighter green. Tritanopia, it's red. And now the blue has turned to green. Achromatopsia, this means they see in shades of gray. This is what they see. And when you look at this, this is not really accessible. And let me tell you why. Because these two colors are too close together. It's almost indistinguishable for someone who's trying to make a choice. So, shook, right? Shook. So what do you do to help with accessibility? That's a great question too. So there are extensions on your browsers. One extension that I use all the time is called a color contrast analyzer, right? There's so many you can download. I use Chrome exclusively. I don't like Safari. So these are Chrome extensions that I'm telling you about. The one that I use is color contrast analyzer, and the other one is color contrast checker. So you can see what other people are like in real time, what they're seeing on the internet. You need to make sure that there is enough contrast. Contrast is the name of the game when we're making colors for accessible branding. 3 portions of making our branding. We're talking about colors. We're talking about accessible branding colors. We're talking about sites that can help us with accessible branding colors like coolers.co on the web and coolers in the App Store just for iOS. I know that there are Android apps, but I don't have an Android phone. So if you know of any Android apps that are color pickers like coolers, please put them in the chat because I'm sure other people would love to know that. So back to our branding. We have gotten our name, we've gotten our values, we've gotten our mission. Okay, what else do we need before we do any more design? We need personas. We do need personas to typography. We do need that, but we're not at the typography step yet. We have a couple more things to really iron out before we get there. Audience. We need audience. We need that. That's the first thing we kind of should have gotten to. So yes, audience. We need audience. Who is this brand for? Who else? Who are we marketing it to? Age range, tax bracket, education, all those things go into audience, all those things. You would say Gen Z and millennials. Okay, we're doing Gen Z and millennials. Okay, so millennials start, let's see, millennial years are from 1980 to 1995. And then you said Gen Z years are from 1997 to 2012. From 1980, millennial, to 2012. That's our range, okay? Millennials to 2012. How old is somebody who was born in 1980? I don't really be vibing with math after the 7 o'clock. So 2021 minus 1980, 41. That's young. So from 41 to, we said 2012. That's the end of the range of the Gen Z range. 41 to 9. Okay, we're not doing 9. We're not doing 9, but let's just say, yeah. So let's just say from 40 to 25, 25 to 40. That's still young. Okay. I'm gonna fight you if you said 40 is not young. But so let's say our age range is 25 years old to 40. Okay, saying that that means that they most likely would have gone to college and finished college and probably into grad school, like the first year of grad school or things of that nature. Into 40, maybe they have kids, maybe they have families, maybe they have stressful jobs. So we have to think about all of that when we're thinking about our audience and how this brand is going to really impact them. Maybe this brand, this generation chunk that we have chosen, this audience that we have chosen, maybe they do believe in social justice, which I do believe 25 to 40 believes in that. So that would be a great age range for us to focus on for our brand. Holographic Pride is audience is 25 to 40. Okay, there's even more parameters for audience. It's not just age. We're not just done, because there's a lot of 25 to 40 year olds, like lots from different walks of life. So what type of life is this 25 to 40 year old person living? Are they college educated? Does that not matter? Do they have children? Does that not matter? Are they in committed relationships? Does that not matter? Are they obviously they think of this the economy or of the earth as being one of their driving personal factors. So that's a part of the audience that we're reaching. The 25 to 40 year olds who really believe in social justice, who believe in sustainability. Those are the people that we're targeting. What else are we thinking about? Oh, I didn't read this comment. BIPOC community, general public, nonprofit funders with accessibility for folks with disabilities. Yes. Okay. So when we wanted to focus on taking so many notes right now. Yes. Agreed, because we are environmental social justice nonprofit organization. Oh, we're nonprofit? Wait, I missed that. I didn't write that down. We're nonprofit. Hold on. How are we getting the funding? We're nonprofit. That's a whole nother pie. How are we getting funding if we're nonprofit? We got to probably rethink that part. But I do agree with the BIPOC community, general public. Inclusivity is important to us, gender inclusivity. So we're really also catering to the LGBTQ plus community, who we also want to bring into the fold with our wonderful skincare that we're about to produce. So 25 to 40, BIPOC. We've already talked about gender inclusivity. And then sustainability is a big part of how this audience sees themselves. Okay. All right. So, audience, is there anything else for the audience that we need to add? What do we need to add further for the audience? We have the age range. We have what drives them. We have the communities that we want to target. What else about the audience do we want to target? Is there anything else? Are we talking, political affiliations? Because, girl, that's a whole nother can of worms. So, yeah. But we also have to remember that we can't really intentionally exclude someone. You know what I mean? We can't say that this is not for you. We cannot do that because it goes against what you want to do as a brand, which is build community. You don't want to ostracize other people. You don't want to make other people feel like they're not a part of what you're building or hoping to build. So we cannot say, you can't come. No, we can't do that. And then even further, you can do that, but that's not the way. That ain't the way. Just throw it away. That ain't the way. Okay, our money comes from grants, foundations, individuals, and high-end donors. So are we targeting our brand to high-end donors or high-end, high-earning individuals? Is that what we're doing? Because that can be a conflict of interest if we think about it. Because sometimes, I'm not saying all times, sometimes if you're a high earner, sustainability is not as high on your list as it could be, if that makes sense. Okay, I'm not saying that that's across the board. That's not it across the board, just sometimes. So we want to send clear branding messages, and maybe being a nonprofit Skincare brand is something that could be a little confusing for the consumer. We can have a nonprofit portion of the company where we give back. If you, let's say we go to, what do we do? I have it in my head, but the words are not coming. We can highlight the social justice. The words just left me again. We can highlight communities or organizations that focus on bringing resources to people who identify as LGBTQ or people who identify as BIPOC. So we can do that part and have that part of the brand be nonprofit. The whole brand. I don't think it's a good idea for the whole brand to be the words, y'all. The whole brand to be nonprofit. Okay, so are we done with our audience? We've decided who we want to target. We are going with accessible pricing. We are going with accessible pricing. We have to figure out what that means to us, right? Does that mean what does that mean? What does that mean as this brand? Because these are some of the questions you're going to have to answer when you're thinking about your branding, because you want to make money, right? This is the kind of the goal of your brand. You want to put your brand out there. You want people to love it and you want to make money. So we have to think about it in an altruistic nature. Like, we can't just do this for free because we're going to go out of business very quickly. We're not going to be able to purchase the products to make our ethically sourced brand if we don't have money. Could we crowdfund for the products consumers are most interested in? We could start out crowdfunding. The one thing about crowdfunding is that we would have to promise a certain amount of product to users in order for, like when we launch, we have to send it to those users first. And that could get a little dicey depending on how we do this. We can offer solutions like Klarna or something so people can pay a little bit at a time. Those are great solutions. So for Klarna, we're probably not targeting higher earning individuals because typically they wouldn't use that. But then even this is a hole in our research, right? Because if we would have done the research at the beginning, we could have had people who shop online who are high earners, middle earners, low earners, and ask them how they typically check out. Do they use Klarna? Do they use Affirm? Do they use Afterpay? Is it something they think about? Is it something they ever think about? Just really getting that information to see what users really do on the internet in an e-commerce space. So that is a great suggestion. I think we are complete with the audience. I think I'm going to go with you guys. That's what I think, because we're building this together. Okay, so we're done with the audience. Where do we go to get this research? Great question. We have to find that research. We have to find that group of people we want to target. And a way for us to do that is if we use places like LinkedIn. You can go on LinkedIn and really reach out on your wall, I guess it's called, to say, hey, I have this new product that I'm looking for research for. Position yourself as the expert. I'm a UX designer who is a part of this team who is looking to bring a new skincare product into the industry. I really need help with finding, what is the word? Interviewees, people to interview so that we can get this product off the ground. You can do it that way. Do a Google form. You can ask friends and family, and those friends and family can ask other friends and family and other friends and family. Like, it can just keep growing. And then you can really do like a screening interview to really get our audience. So you would ask questions like, do you purchase skincare? If the answer is no, then that person is not going to do well in your survey, right? And if the person says yes, you can go on to further screening questions. It's like 2 or 3 screening questions to kind of get your ideal pool of people so that you can get those interviews. So that would be great if you want to do this as a, UX case study or put it on your portfolio. You need to get some users and get those ideas from the users to see what they want, what they need, asks, desires, how they're feeling about, skincare, things of that nature, so that we can do things like personas and empathy maps to put in our research, right? So that would be great. Okay, So we're done with name. We're done with values. We're done with name, values, mission, and audience. We have those 4 things. Is there anything else that you guys think that we need in pencil and paper to hammer down before we go any further? Do you think there's any more places that we need to iron out? Any more topics we need to address before we go into the design? What do you think we need? Anything further? And don't think anything is silly. Like, just throw them out there. Throw them out there. What else do we need to make this brand? Okay, Beyonce. And if you're just joining, I'm Saray, UX designer. We're building a brand live here on TikTok. We don't have any research, which is something that you couldn't do on your own if you want to take this and grow it. But we're just doing the big portions: name, mission, audience, values, so that we can get a sense of what this brand is, how it's going to look before it looks. You know what I mean? So those are the 4. And this is a rough brand build. This is by no means an exhaustive list of all of the things that we need to build a brand. There's more. There is more. Yeah, so we've kind of touched on our reputation as a brand. We want to be sustainable. What else have we done? We don't have a brand strategy. We don't have marketing. That's something that we would have to figure out if we're doing this like for real. You know, if we're building this brand from the start to launch. We need to do research. We need to do competitor research. That's something that we have to do. Why am I still holding up these 4 fingers? That's something we have to do to determine the success of our voice, of our brand. We need to figure out the brand voice. Like, what do we sound like? Do we sound like Betty White, or do we sound like Ariana Grande? Like, you know what I mean? Like, in terms of who are we talking to? We know we're talking to 25 to 40-year-olds, but that's a wide gap of things, right? 25-year-olds like Betty White, and 25-year-olds also like Ariana Grande. What does our brand sound like to the consumer? Are we ready for the brand design now? I think that, I would say that we're ready to figure out our brand identity. When I say that, we're talking about colors and fonts, patterns, icons, things of that nature. Okay? I think we're ready to do that. Okay, so let me turn you guys around. Or actually, let's talk about it before we do that. What colors do you think we should do, our brand should be identified with? What colors should we have? What are you using to create the color palettes? I'm going to use coolers.co. It's a website, a color picker website that really includes, it's good for accessibility. It has different things for color sensitivities and color blindness. So we have our 4 things. What do we think our colors are going to look like? What do we want to convey with color? Greens, natural, ethical, sustainable. Greens are perfect for our brand. What else do we think? We wouldn't necessarily do reds. That's outside of our brand because we're thinking ethical, sustainable, sustainable skincare brand. So much more earthy tones. Yes, earthy. When I think of the name, I think of pink, blue, purple, that holographic look. Yes, I see where you're going with that. And that also may be what the consumer is thinking of. So you also have to have that in mind. We may want to convey a different message than what the name is already telling the consumer. So because our name is Holographic Pride, consumers are already going to be thinking pink, blue, yellow, like holographic colors, right? So no matter how we try to change that color palette into this, they're going to be thinking this. And then it's not going to match up in their head. And then it's going to cause doubt, right? When it comes time to purchase. We have to remember we're no longer designing Holographic Pride for us. We're thinking about the end user. We're thinking about the consumer. We're thinking about how they're going to interact with the product. So we think that sustainability and ethical nature is green and browns. But the name says we having a party. So what should we do? What should we do with this conundrum, guys? We have to remember the name that we've picked and how it's probably going to come across to other people. Since our name has holographic in it, we should use a vibrant earthy color with textures and geometric. That can be a great idea. So when you're thinking vibrant earthy, What are some vibrant earthy colors that you're thinking of? Because remember, our name is Holographic Pride. We literally are screaming color at this point. Skincare, ethical, sustainable, but our name is Holographic Pride. So how are we going to marry that juxtaposition? How are we going to make sure that it fits? Because if it doesn't fit, the consumer is going to be like, and then they're going to buy something else. Okay. And also to remember, because this is a new brand that we're releasing on the market, we have to build up that rapport. We have to be believable. If we give them something that has huge disconnects in it, they're going to leave. Like with the quickness, they're going to be like, this doesn't match up what I think it does. No, thank you. They're going to smell the BS and they're going to run away. So we have to remember to think about the user. We're no longer thinking about us. It ain't about us. Yes, the heart of what we're doing is from us, but it's for them. So that's a UX principle that I really think that you need to think about and understand if you're really thinking about UX being your profession, that once you get that research, that once you start building that product, you're not building it for you. Like, you may be a person who would use the product, but you're building it for the end user, and you have to remember to keep them in mind. I feel low tones. I think we should select colors from the pride flag. Hi. So see, we have to remember other people's. Okay, so now is a good time. I think of icy blues and white, kind of hollow yet giving natural vibes. I see where you are going with this. All right, so now would be a good time to talk about how many colors that we need for a brand. Let's think about our logo. We have no logo yet, but let's think about the logo. How many colors do you think we should include in this logo? How about pastels, like green, indigo. I said indigo. Green, indigo, and rosy pink. Green, indigo, and rosy pink. Green, indigo, rosy pink. Let me pull that up. How many colors? While I'm pulling that up, tell me how many colors you think we should have as our main brand colors. So let me see what you guys are thinking. Three colors max. 2 to 4 for simple, more complex. No more than 8. Definitely no more than 8. 3 max. 5. We have to take into account the fonts too, right? Okay. All right. For your brand colors, you want to make sure that you have no more. And I'm talking like in the logo, like the colors that you have expressed in your logo. For clarity, no more than 3. No more. More than 3, it gets confusing. It's hard to read when you scale it down. No more than 3. If you can get away with 2, even better. Does your logo have to have your brand colors? Yes. Actually 6, including the white. So you're probably thinking about all the colors that we're going to have, like all over the course of the website. But I'm saying just branding, just logo colors. How many max do we need? So we're just thinking logo. Period. Like, how many colors? 2 is great. 3, if the third one is in a small increment, like if the third one is actually like a neutral, you can get away with that because you almost don't count that one. The Olympics have many, but that's different when you think about it, okay? Because the Olympics is bringing everybody together. So we kind of need all those colors to convey that message, right? And then also sometimes too, the Olympic rings are conveyed as black and white for clarity sometimes. So it depends. Okay, here we go. This is it. Remember, the screen is darkening it. If you have access to your computer with you or an iPad with you, take a screenshot of this and put these colors in so you can see the true tone of what this actually is. Even if you have to leave and come back to see what these colors are actually expressing, because it's a lot lighter than what you're seeing right now, okay? So this is honeydew. This is a pastel green. We have indigo, which is a blue-purple situation, and light coral. So what are we thinking? Indigo, green, and charcoal. Maybe throw in a neutral color in that. I love that idea, YDLS_331. I love the idea of a neutral because, like I was saying, you can almost get away with having 3 colors when at least one of them is your neutral, right? So let's go. We started with the name. Holographic Pride is the name of our skincare brand. We're not doing makeup, we're doing skincare. Our values include eco-friendly, locally sourced ingredients, affordable pricing, ethical production, creating high quality products, identity affirming in the sense of shades, tints, tones, different people, and also inclusivity for all genders. Those are our main big ticket values. We also created our mission in this time. We said purchasing ethical products, profits going towards, or a portion of the profits going towards social justice initiatives, centering various identities that are not traditionally included in the skincare industry. That was our mission. Our audience, we decided between 25 and 40. So millennial to Gen Z, because we as we were discussing, that is the generation that is most likely in tune with social justice change. We want to make sure that it's geared to BIPOC. We're not excluding anyone, but we want to make sure that we gear it to BIPOC, to gender inclusivity, and making sure that the people who we are gearing this brand to, the 25 to 40-year-olds, they are really, really interested in sustainability and ethical resources. So those are the 4 things we came up with in this live while we're building out Holographic Pride. If there's anything else that we need to add, we can always do that. But these are our 4 that we're always going to have to come back to. And it's going to act like a guiding light. When we get a little bit lost, like we kind of did with the colors, when we kind of going off to the browns and the greens because we were just thinking of the one phrase, ethical and sustainable. When we kind of get lost, these 4 things can help bring us back to the why. Why are we creating this brand? My computer to start. Why are we creating this brand? The name of our brand, the values, the mission, and the audience. Those things are going to guide us. So, guys, we are doing great. Y'all, okay, so we have all our information. Thanks, guys, so much for being here. The next one will be at the same time next Wednesday. I'm going to do more lives, but the one that's going to be specifically about building a brand is going to be next Wednesday at the same time. Okay, so I will make sure to link that in my next upcoming videos to let you guys know. But if you don't see the link, know that it's next Wednesday at 7 p.m. EST, Eastern Standard Time, that we're going to continue to build the live. I'm going to put the Notion in my link in my bio, so that and I'll let you guys know when it's live and active, so you can go in there and see all the things that we've built so far. And thank you guys so much. It starts at 7 p.m. EST. You're so late, don't worry. This is the first of many about how we're building this brand, how I as a UX designer build brands with my UX framework and my web designer framework. If you guys need help, if you guys need to reach out to me, as always, you can find me on YouTube, find me on my page. You can go to my contact page if you want to work together, if you have any idea of, if you want to build a brand together with me. If you're like, I don't want to do any of the work, Saray, I want you to do it, you can contact me there. So as always, guys, thank you so much for being here, because I have so much fun with you guys, and I will see you guys next Wednesday at 7 p.m. EST for the second portion of Build a Brand with me. I will have more lives doing that between that time, but the next portion for Build a Brand with me is next Wednesday, December 8th at 7 p.m. EST. All right, guys, have a good night, and I will see y'all. Look, even the background is like, girl, we gotta go to bed. We are tired. I'll see y'all in the next live. All right, guys, bye. Have a good night.